Hey guys, it's Karen from Any360 Fitness here with another one of my not so artistic drawings for you. But I just wanted to explain one thing as more people are getting outside now, which is awesome. The weather's changing, we're walking, running, biking, hiking, there's so much to do. And there's an important thing to consider that I think sometimes often gets overlooked. So I'm going to use my artsy or not so artsy drawing here of my person. Now, typically, if you've ever started an exercise program before, or you have kind of watched your body adapt from a lower level of exercise to a higher intensity or more volume in your training, you've experienced adaptation. So with our body here, when we start exercising, we have our muscles in orange and our heart, which is also a muscle. And these muscles can adapt to any type of stress or exercise is stress, that we put on the body. And it, depending on where you're starting from, it can take a long time to adapt, or you might notice some significant changes relatively quickly. So, you know, our muscles, our heart, they can get accustomed to things like walking and running or strength training. But one thing that often gets overlooked is right here at our joints, our connective tissue that connects our muscle to bone or our bones to bones, even down into our ankles. This one I think gets overlooked quite a bit more even than like elbows or knees. Also, we have hips in here. So the thing about connective tissue is that it can actually take a little bit longer to adapt to the stress of exercise than things like our muscles or our heart or our lung capacity as we get used to breathing, as we increase our intensity. Now, if you're going from not exercising so much into running, you're putting a lot of pressure on your joints, your hips, your knees, your ankles. And again, your connective tissue, it's not quite as large as your muscles, but we're asking them to do a lot to connect larger muscle groups to each other or to our bones. Now, there's also not quite as much blood flow there. So if you've ever had an injury to a ligament or a tendon, you have a good understanding of how much time it takes for those to recover. You're talking 6 to 12 weeks, sometimes minimum. So as you start to exercise and you increase your activity levels, it's such a good thing to do. But please don't forget about these smaller connective tissues. Do some mobility. Make sure you're factoring that in, not just static stretching all the time, but actually some gentle movement so that these understand how they should be moving properly and how we're getting the muscles and our heart to work a little more efficiently. Also, your strength training. It's a great way to build strength within those joints and even increase your range of motion. So just a couple of things to consider. You know, don't pay attention to my artistic creativity here, but I hope that this gets the point across that it's great that you're moving more, it's great that you're being more active and maybe increasing your intensity, but don't forget those key areas. Also, the big one here, the core, because without a strong core, all of this is going to have a little bit more difficult time working together. So add in a little bit extra work. If you have questions, reach out to me. Keep up the good work, keep moving, and don't forget the little guys.